Yeah. Hold on, let me. Yeah, I'm not sure what's
Yeah,
going
I don't
on
know
here.
what happened, but I'm pretty much open to all. But I'm at a point now, I'm really confused. So if he can tell me what the moon is actually made of, and
Yeah, I want to hear that too. I want to hear what the moon is made of too, from his perspective, and then
yeah,
I'll jump in.
exactly.
Yeah,
Because it's
Hey,
like I know, like, you and I went back and forth, and it's like, yeah, and you've come up with some excellent points as well. So it's like I'm freaking confused. So it's like, you know what? Because I want to believe, I just want to know the truth. For me, I
yeah,
just you know me, Bri. I'm a truth seeker. I need to know
yeah.
the truth.
So John, it was a problem with the sound earlier. You got muted or something. I don't know if you could hear us, but I want you to go ahead and start from the beginning. Tell us what the you was going into what the moon was from a flat Earth perspective. Like what
did,
is the moon?
did you guys hear when I talked about being
Not, not
400?
No, we didn't hear
no,
anything. They cut. I
no.
mean,
Oh,
you
I'm
got cut
sorry.
They
like
cut.
quick.
I'm sorry. That was my finest moment. Not really. Anyway,
No, I'm sorry.
um, the sun that they tell us, the
Mm,
sun is 400 times further away from the Earth than the moon is,
Uh-huh.
and
yeah,
they tell us the sun is 400 times larger than the moon is,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's why it covers the sun during a lunar eclipse just perfectly. And the chances of that actually happening is just unbelievably, it's just like, you know it just doesn't happen, but it happened. And the thing is, now I know I lose people when I say this, and then that's fine. uh, but there are a lot of us who were brought up, whether we keep going back to the Bible or not. There are some of us who were brought up with 6 days, and the seventh day he rested. And we don't go with the Big Bang. We don't go with 4.5 billion years and all that stuff. We don't agree that we came from amoebas that became lizards that started walking on 2 feet, that became monkeys, and one strain of monkeys became man, and that monkey went away, and other monkeys have stayed where they are. There are people who go with that, and there's probably the majority of people.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but but but
Yeah, I
but
was gonna say. Go ahead. Yeah, because I wanted to just know what the moon does. Like you said, what was?
I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
went off on a tangent. My bad.
yeah.
Anyway,
And I have a question too, because I run
the
every morning. I run about 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm there. I'm running at dawn. Why do I see, sometimes, especially like during the end of my run, I see the moon and the sun? What's that all about?
oh, you definitely can because they revolve around the flat Earth, and you get they don't travel at the same speed, obviously, and you get your you get the sun and the moon relatively close, like it was 2 weeks ago here in Texas. I mean, that's where I came up. I'm Now that I'm into all this stuff. I went out about 3 o'clock in the afternoon to go get some lunch or breakfast, late breakfast, and I got out there, and the sun's relatively low in the sky still in February, and I looked up and I saw between a couple houses, I saw the moon, and it was about half at the time. And I looked up and I said, and I looked up and the light part of the moon wasn't pointing anywhere where the sun was. It was pointing way up in the sky, and the sun was way down. And I actually stopped somewhere and put it on my iPhone, but it doesn't come through very well because when you point things in the sky, especially the moon, you don't catch them unless you really zoom in. But I looked at that, and then I looked at the next day and the next day, and it's just like the moon got a little bigger, and it's still pointing way up in the sky, and the sun was all the way down over here, so the moon wasn't getting its reflection from the sun. And I had always been told, now that I'm a flat earther, that the moon actually emits its own light, and that
But what's the moon? What is the moon made of?
I don't think anybody knows because we're not allowed to go up there. This is the point I was going to make. The reason flat earthers don't study astronomy and aren't allowed to go up into quote space on a rocket is because if NASA or SpaceX or whatever allowed flat earthers to go up into space, we come back and say, hey, we were right. And so we're not allowed to go up there. And
nah, that's not true. That's not. I got to stop you right there because that's not true. Flat earthers have been challenged to go to space multiple times, and they didn't take. One of the most prominent ones. I don't remember his name, man, but he got a documentary on Netflix, which is the same documentary that he debunked himself on, trying to prove flat Earth. I forget his name, but he was challenged a few times. Kyrie Irving is another flat earther. He was challenged to go to space. Steph Curry was challenged to go. A lot of these celebrity flat earthers were challenged to go to space. So I know it's not true.
I would say Lenin, who led the Soviet Union, the old Soviet Union, from 1917 to 1924 before Stalin took over in 24. Lenin said, if you want to control the opposition, lead it yourself. And that's called
totally concur, but
opposition.
My thing is this: when it comes to that, and I'm not saying that, like, perhaps I have been indoctrinated. I just want the truth. I just need.
My thing is this. Real quick, we're gonna get to the bottom of it. Then, let me ask you this, John. Is there any way that we can? Predict what position the moon will be in on any given day? Do you have anything that we can predict when the moon is, when we are supposed to see the moon on the flat Earth? Do you have any method that is based on flat Earth research where we can predict where the moon and the sun will be at any given time?
Sure you can. Absolutely.
What's the model that you have? What is a model that I can look at?
Yeah, because it's like, from taking astronomy in college, it's all about coordinates. And it's like, I need the coordinates. If it's the same every time, then the coordinates are the same every time. As I'm
every
correct,
time. Every time, on time, like clockwork.
Here's a question: How do we explain Genesis 1, the earth and the sky created in 6 days and it rested on the seventh, versus Big Bang created from nothing?
The Big Bang
and 4.5 billion years. Now,
I want to say real. Hold on. I want to say real quick, because we have somebody on here who wants to know the truth, right? So I gotta turn it in. I don't want to debate, but I kind of gotta stop you when something is going on, because I gotta put that into perspective.
Sure.
The Big Bang that has nothing to do with how can we determine where the sun is. The Bible has nothing. We can take all of that out of it. We can take the Bible, we can take the Big Bang out of it. You can completely believe the Bible and everything will be fine. That does not change the fact that there are models that we can use right now on our phone, on the computer, where we can detect everything that happens up in space. I can go to an app right now called the Solar System, and I can look at my phone and it'll tell me exactly what time I should see the sun. It'll tell me exactly what position the moon is going to be. It can tell me, I can literally go on this app right now. I can rewind it back to the eclipse we had back in August, back in 2017. It'll literally take me back to that time, and it'll also tell me I can fast forward. I'll literally fast forward before that day. Before that day, they determined when this was going to happen before it happened.
I
Now,
mean,
unless somebody is up there control. Now, let me get on what the moon was according to flat earthers. I didn't hear you say this. So what you said with the moon? What matter of fact, let's go back to that because I don't even think I heard you. What is the moon? Like, give me a summary of what the moon is. You said you don't know,
No,
correct?
well, we're not allowed to go up and find out
All
for
right.
ourselves.
Okay. So here's
did
what.
say
Okay.
that.
So, but what is it? Now,
I,
what is it though?
I believe it's a disc in the sky.
And let me tell you what I've heard flat earthers say.
Okay.
I've heard flat earthers for years say that the moon is a trajectory by the government. They think a damn trajectory. I'm talking about like the movies, like when you go to the movie theater, Batman's bat signal type shit. They
The
say that's
back
what the moon
signal.
is. I can't do.
Can I make can I
I
make this
can't.
statement? Can I
But
make this
go
statement?
ahead.
The
Go
Flat
ahead.
Earth Society itself was created in 1971, and it's a controlled opposition to make flat earthers look crazy.
Now,
That is what
these are
the
regular.
Flat Earth
These are now.
Society
Hold
says they
on,
are.
John. Now we backpedaling
No, I'm
because
not. I'm
because if
saying
because
what you
now
hear may not be
if
the truth.
because now that basically says we really can't trust nothing about flat Earth now. You don't have any astronauts. You don't have anybody studying Earth. You don't have a model that we can go off of. And now you're saying that people are trying to make flat earthers look crazy when these people get online and make themselves look crazy every day.
That's what
They don't need people to do nothing.
the Flat Earth Society is controlled opposition, and you will have people that will go on and make crazy statements so people laugh at them and go back to their globe model. It is
But
warfare. It is
every
warfare.
argument, every argument that you've made so far, I done heard though by everybody.
It's
By
fine.
from the
It's
most
fine.
prominent flat earthers to, if you can call them that, to just the people online in groups. So I just it's not hard to believe because it's not a possibility. No, it could be a possibility, but the problem is that flat
Yeah.
earthers don't have
My
a
my
model.
thing is that
How can
I need
yeah,
presentation. I need presentation
yeah,
in regards to the
there's
because
literally
it's
no
like I
presentation
and
for flat earth.
leaving say like right now where my mind is at, it's like, okay, I'm gonna leave a little bit open, but the presentation has to be to the point where it's like, you know what, this is what it is, and I'm not seeing that pull for me to like really, understand. And I'm a Christian, and I've read Genesis, and I believe that God controls the earth, but my whole issue is that I need substantiation. I need things to be substantiated for me to like, for me to jump on board of this like flat earth. And it's like it just seems as though like I want to believe and a part of me does, but then it's like when the I guess the what do you want to call it? The oh God, I can't even think right now. I guess it's too late for me in Jersey.
Real quick, I want to ask this because you made a good point. I want to ask this about, because we keep bringing up God. Wouldn't it be kind of logical to think that if we're denying flat Earth, or we're denying the Earth that we know to be globe, and flat earthers are coming in, they have no evidence, they have no models, they have no astronauts that studying these things. Could it be the flat earthers that's the blasphemers trying to deny God's creation?
Here's what I have to say.
Oh, that's a good point.
People who believe in a spinning ball, a globe, have no visual, everyday evidence that they live on a spinning ball that is a globe. If you do laser measurements across the water, which always sees a flat level, or across a level of land, say the sand area down in Utah, if you take a laser measurement and take it out for miles and miles and miles, it goes straight. The
No, it
curve
doesn't.
model, the
No, it
curve
doesn't.
model,
It
it
doesn't go
does.
straight.
The,
That's been debunked.
the laser measurements prove flat Earth, because the first mile of a flat on a globe, it goes down 8 inches. The second mile, it goes down 32 inches. On the third mile, it goes down 72. At 52 miles, it should go down 1,800 feet. It doesn't. You can see
That's not. Yeah. That's been debunked though.
it has
It got
not.
debunked.
It has not.
It got debunked by
It
flat
has
earther.
not.
The
It
flat
has
earther
not
debunked
gotten
himself.
debunked. And who
It's gotten
says that
debunked.
flat earther is not
Go
controlled opposition?
go watch. Yeah. That's That's
Who
easy
says?
to say though. That's
Who
easy to
says?
say. That's easy to say for a model that we don't have evidence for. That's
You
just like
have
if
you have
that's
no
like
visual everyday
uh
evidence of a spinning
yeah.
ball. You have none.
I'm so
I don't. You're right.
confused.
I have everyday evidence of a flat Earth.
Math
You have no evidence of a spinning
what
ball.
what mathematics can you give me so I can determine where the sun and the moon is going to be tomorrow based
That's
on your flat Earth model?
when I took astronomy, we had to do some heavy, serious like calculations, and in order to determine coordinates. Okay, coordinates just doesn't exist on its own. You have
No,
to
it
have
doesn't.
it has to have mathematical data in order to back it up. So
Facts.
therefore, it's like I'm just trying to figure out, okay, because what I was presented, and I'm not even going to say taught, but presented, because in
You were
essence,
presented.
I'm a grown woman right now, and it's like, okay, what I was presented and what I worked on when I was in college, it just seems as though like, okay, that's how things go. So I can't, when it comes to scientific data, for me personally, it can't be theoretical. Okay, it cannot be based on theory. It cannot be based on a feeling. It cannot be based on a concept. And this is where the confusion within myself is coming from, because because I know the government can lie and has lied in the past. And I do want to believe like, okay, hey, there is a level of plausibility, but if there's no plausibility substantiating flat earthers mathematically, then it just totally doesn't substantiate their cause. I don't know if I made any sense.
How about
Yeah.
how about the law of gravity? Supposedly, an apple hit Newton on top of the head and fell to the ground, and that proved gravity. Now, if he was sitting next to a lake, and that apple hit him in the head and fell into a lake, it would have floated.
Yeah, and that's density.
That's density and buoyancy. The only reason we have gravity is to explain why people in water don't fall off the side and the bottom of a spinning ball. That's the only reason we have gravity. Everything else can be explained by density and buoyancy. Everything else can be. So gravity exists to explain why water and people don't fall off the side of a globe or the bottom of a globe. I'm sorry.
But what about people that sink down into the water?
They're denser. If people who have a full lungs of air, and then they go underwater and they float, and then they push that air out, blow it out, they sink. When a submarine goes down, they fill their tanks up with water. When they want to come up, they blow out the water with compressed air, and they come back to the surface. It's all about density and buoyancy.
Yeah. Let's say that gravity is full of shit, right? What does that have to do with the Earth being flat?
Because gravity is the only thing that explains why people and water don't fall off the side and the bottom.
All right, that's fine. Let's say, okay, cool.
Okay.
Let's say gravity is full of shit. What does that have to do with the Earth being flat?
If gravity was full of shit, then people who are on the side or the bottom of a spinning ball would fall off.
Okay. What does that have to do with the proof of the shape of the Earth, though?
Because water seeks its level, a level playing field. The Earth is 72% water, 28% land. And basically you have a fishbowl. You have the Antarctica that has an ice wall of 150 to 200 feet all the way around the flat Earth that holds the water.
So okay. There's a guy on YouTube, the one I was telling you about. He's the airplane guy. Yeah, he debunked that. There is no wall. There's no ice wall.
There is.
There's no ice wall surrounding the planet.
There is.
And he flew. Okay, so let me ask you this. From your location, how far away is this ice wall?
The Treaty of Antarctica says that 60 degrees south parallel, you cannot go down below that unless those two specific areas I talked about. You cannot go down below that. Why does the Treaty of Antarctica say that? Why don't we have a Treaty of the Arctic?
From your specific location, though, if you have this knowledge of the ice wall, of what's going on in Antarctica, okay? If Antarctica is this big ass ice wall that surrounds the flat Earth, from your perspective location, how far away is the ice wall from you?
I have a question.
I have no idea how far it is down to the 60th parallel. I have no idea.
I have a question.
I have none.
Okay, I have a friend who lives in Japan. Now, right now, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, I'm Eastern Standard Time, America. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's dark as hell up in here.
Yep.
Okay, make it sense for me. Why is she having sunlight and I'm in the midst of a pre-dawn moment? Okay, am I like sounding stupid?
I have something I can send you on that.
Okay, for real.
Obviously, this is not the example I would use, but it's something that most people know about. Just use the yin yang thing, with the white and the black, yin yang, and basically twirl it. And in the northern hemisphere, in the northern latitudes, it will be lighter longer, and in the southern latitudes in the winter, it will be lighter longer down there and less down here. So think of it. I'm not a yin yang person, but think about it as a yin yang. The white is where the sun is shining. You get into the law of perspective, and you get into vanishing point. I have all that stuff I can send you.
Send it to me. Send it to me.
Yeah. So basically, the sun moves away from you, and it gets smaller to the point where you can't see it no more. But see, if that was the case, then
I'm so confused.
That's what the law of perspective is. See, I know all these arguments. I've been debating flat earthers for a long time.
I'm so freaking confused right now. It's
but see, this is why I have to question. Because when we're talking about God, I have to question. I really have to question the flat earthers. What if the flat earthers are the ones that's denying God's creation, and they're trying to trick us out of believing in God?
I hear you.
I got it because here's the thing. The sun isn't moving away from you. It's not traveling straight. It's not going straight. In fact, the sun ain't moving at all. But we're not even gonna get on that part. We're not even gonna get into the evidence that the sun ain't moving. Let's just talk about the real shit though. The perspective. That means the sun is doing this, right? When he say it's getting out the view, it's doing this. This is what the sun is supposed to be doing. But see, if that's the case, right, it's the vanishing point, right? But if that's the case, I should still be able to pick up a high-powered telescope, and I should be able to see that motherfucking sun in China right now. But you can't.
Your eye can only see.
No. sight.
I'm gonna be
If the sun is light, if we all agree that the sun has light, right? I know we ain't that damn conspiracy
No.
theorist out that we don't agree on that, right?
No, the sun is illuminating for sure.
Exactly. Okay. Anytime that you have anything that's illuminating light like that, it doesn't matter how far away it go. It doesn't matter how far away it get away from you. You would still be able to see it. You won't be able to see it with the okay. Let's say that the sun is a small ass little light bulb that's just big as fuck when they get close to you. Let's just say that, right? When it travels far away, like I'm in North Carolina, if I look east, I should still be able to see that sun with a high-powered telescope. We got telescopes, but he said there ain't no planets, right? I done looked in the telescope and saw Venus. Venus comes up every morning at 6 o'clock. You feel me? You can see that. I've seen Saturn. You can only see Saturn in certain places because where it's positioned on the planet. So if I could take a high-powered telescope and I could see what the hell is all the way up there, past the atmosphere and all that shit, only based on a light. That's the only reason why we're able to see it, because light travels so fucking fast. It doesn't matter how far away it is, you're still gonna be able to see it. Your eyes sees that light, it detects that light, it goes to your brain, and it registers the image of what you're seeing in the sky based on the light that it's illuminating. So if I can see a fucking planet that's millions and millions away from me, based on the light that is reflecting in that telescope, I should be able to see the sun in China right now with the telescope as well. But they did that test. They went up to the highest point. They went up to the highest point they could get to when the sun went down, and they pointed the telescope toward the goddamn sun to see if it moves away, and it went down. They couldn't see it no more. How do you explain that on a flat Earth?
It moves away, and as it moves away, it appears to go down further. Now, let me say this.
Yeah.
Our eyes can only see so far. When we get
your eyes, that is very true.
But if you utilize
so far.
But if you utilize high tech,
exactly,
materials, you should be able. Not even my eyesight, but the telescopic materials or contraptions should be able to see what I can't see. Am I making myself clear?
Yeah. That's why they created the technology. So you can be able to see things that your eyes can't see. Like when I look into the sky, I can't see the star. I can only see a speck of light, because even though I can't see the shape of the star, I can still see the light, because the light is reflecting in my eyes, is getting to my brain, and my brain is saying, hey, that's the light. That's what you're seeing. But if I was to look in the telescope, I can see the shape of the star that I'm looking at. Literally, I've done this.
You can't.
So
the only thing you'll see with a star is a twinkle.
So I have a question.
Will not see the shape of a star.
Yeah, no, I did see that. No, I saw Saturn. I've seen Saturn. I've seen Mars, and I've seen Venus. I've seen those through a telescope perfectly.
Those are lights in God's firmament, about 75 to 100 miles up. That's all they are.
Yeah, but it wasn't just lights. It was shapes. I saw the rings in Saturn. I saw the clear red planet. That was Mars. And then I saw a clear, bright ass Venus. Venus is the most prettiest. Venus is the prettiest star to look at. Go ahead.
I've had a telescope since I was 10 years old.
Okay.
You did not see Mars.
Yeah. Back in the day when you was what? Come on, man. Go what? Back in the day, you talking about the little telescope that's $20. You don't need to look through those. You gotta look through. You gotta look through.
Power.
You got I know you BSing now. So because I've seen the planets through a telescope.
I saw God's light in the firmament.
I have a question. I have a
yeah,
question.
yeah,
You have never gone up there to see it yourself.
Well, I
yeah,
have a
yeah,
question.
yeah.
I have a question. What does the the North Star look
Mm.
like, and what are stars in general? Are they just intense heat, light? What it's like? What are they?
Yeah, yeah. The stars are the two that I know for sure. They're either stars that have exploded, or they're the sun. They're suns in different parts of the space. Right. Here's how that works. Uh, Light travels fast. Like light is like the fastest speed that you can get to. Right. The speed of light. Right. The reason why
Uh-huh.
they call it light, when they say a planet is light years away, they're basing that on how many years it takes for that light to reflect to your eyeball from where it's at. When we look into space, we're actually looking at the past. We're
Mm-hmm.
looking at things that already happened. We
Right.
just don't
That's,
get that light until later. That's how they, you know what I'm saying? That's how it is.
uh-huh.
So when we looking at stars in the sky, we looking at light that happened years ago. We don't know how far away it is. It could be 1,000,000 light years away. It could be 4,000 light years away. Whatever.
But hold
But
that
it's
thought.
just,
Hold that
yeah. Go
thought.
ahead. Yeah,
So you're saying that that's delayed. You're saying that
yeah.
that's delayed. Okay.
Because
Okay.
the stars are so far away, we're just now getting. Even when you look at the sun is an 8-minute delay. You're
Okay.
looking at things. You're looking at the sun's past. So anyway, back to the perspective thing. If it was perspective, brother, when these people went to the
Oh, he's
highest,
gone. What happened? He's
I
gone.
think he gonna come back. He gonna come back. If he a real one, he gonna come back. But anyway, the perspective. This is what the perspective does from a flat Earth perspective, right? This is what the sun is doing, right? But the sun doesn't do that. No, 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 no. The sun does this. The
Mm-hmm.
sun, the sun goes down, and then you only see half of it. If it was from perspective, you would see the sun do this, and then once it get out of your field of light, you would have to use some binoculars or something to see it, but you would still see that full sun. That's not the case though. You only see half the sun, which suggests that it's going down. It's going down somewhere. What is it going down? You can't go down on a flat Earth
Yeah,
unless the
I'm
sun is
like
going under us.
I'm just totally
Yeah,
confused. It's like, I mean, for me
yeah.
personally, I don't trust the government, and I get it, but I mean, the whole thing is that, like I told you, I took an astronomy class, and it was hard, and everything was based on mathematical information. It was based on coordinates. It
Mm-hmm.
was it was like, pretty much based on a level of, mathematical accuracy. So I have a hard time, because I do want to believe the flat earthers. Don't get me wrong. It's like,
Yeah,
if you want to present something to me, fine, present it to me. However, you have to understand that I saw things differently in terms of all the calculations that I've done to position the concept of, like, what, these are stars, these are planets, and there's
mm-hmm.
glyphs, and there's like so many other variables and elements that are involved in terms of, like, the positioning of planets and so forth. I mean, I hope that he's not upset that, like, it's not that I don't believe him, but I'm just looking for more validity. Because it's like,
Yeah,
if you strongly believe in something, it's like, what, you got to come at me with, like, X, Y, and Z, because
yeah,
I've been taught something that, like, that has a level of plausibility in
mm-hmm.
my eyes. You
Right,
understand
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? So
Yeah,
it's like, I'm not making fun of flat earthers. Believe me, I'm not. I'm not a facetious bitch.
yeah,
But my thing is that, what, you got to present your argument in such a way that, like, hey, refutes what I've been taught. Okay? And it's like, astronomy is not a fucking, like, easy science. It's not.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard
yeah.
out.
And the crazy part about it is this is what I don't like about flat Earth. They discredit people who actually have a talent. We want to talk about God and stuff like that. And like I said, man, you're discrediting a gift that God gave these people to explain something to us about our planet. If that's the case, if you really want to take it there, why is it that these people, and the information ain't coming from the government, it's coming from people who actually studied the damn what they're talking about. They spent years studying this stuff,
Well, see,
doing math and all that.
I gotta look him up because there's a Belgium. He's Belgium, and he's also a physicist, and he's also a priest.
Yeah.
And like I have to like listen to him because he talks about the Big Bang Theory, and it's like, you know, people that tend to be very much I guess spiritual or Christian, they have a tendency to totally negate the scientific aspect of everything. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. So it's like I gotta go and like, you know, do some research about this Belgian physicist who happened to have been
Sorry, my phone died.
No problem.
A freaking priest who basically believes in the Big Bang Theory,
Yeah.
but looks at it from a spiritual perspective. So
you can have both. I believe you can have both. You can be a Christian or you can be a Buddhist, whatever, and still believe the Big Bang Theory, because it's not saying.
My girl Red Pill Mixed Chicks is on. She's like, what is the point behind the flat earth? I find it distracting from real stuff that goes on.
Yeah. I agree.
100.
I agree.
100.
I do agree. I agree, because and
Pill.
this is why I said, this is what I was saying. It just doesn't make sense for the government to conspire to lie to people about a flat earth when they can lie to us about way more shit that they can really benefit off of. Another thing, with the whole God thing, man, you can be spiritual and still believe in the Big Bang Theory. Because if you really believe in God, then you believe that all of this was supposed to happen anyway. All of this was written already. All of this was supposed to happen. The Big Bang Theory don't do nothing but try to explain how things happen, how nature happens. Okay, if we rub two sticks together, what does it do? It causes a fire, right? So if we understand that, then how is it not plausible to think that maybe what's going on in space happened because of a natural cause?
Big Bang.
And it's like, if you take it one step further, that natural cause is what? God.
Big Bang.
God, exactly. That's God.
Big Bang explains away Genesis 1.
It does what with Genesis 1?
Big Bang explains away Genesis 1.
It explains away Genesis 1.
God created.
So what you're saying is,
Try
God created the earth in 6 days and rested on the seventh.
Try to get Red Pill on. Red Pill Mixed Chick. See if she'll come on.
All right. Yeah, but I was gonna say, I think that it's not a good argument to try to put God on this. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it's people in science that still believe in God. They believe that God created the science. They created
my girl, Red Pill.
Hey, girl, you got your face all hidden.
Yeah, because, girl, I look a hot freaking mess.
So do I. I don't care.
My girl, Red Pill. I love her.
But yeah,
I think the whole flat earth thing is like totally a distraction about real shit that's going on that you could be investing your time into, like really accomplishing shit, but instead being stuck. The shape of the earth, it doesn't matter. Like, we live here, it doesn't affect our day-to-day life. So why does it matter if it's flat or round?
I think that matters because it matters because we got people here that's like Ross, who get confused and don't know what to believe. So I think it's good for conversation. It's good for educational purposes. We don't have to get so deep in it to the point where we start killing each other or nothing. But I do think that if we have people that says, hey, this isn't true, and you got people getting confused about what's going on, I think the people that's confused have the right to know what the truth is. So then you got people like me who don't believe in flat earth, And you got people like bruh that do believe in flat Earth. We have a conversation and we let the people who's confused decide on what they believe is true or not. I don't think that this is a matter of what to believe though. It's about what you can prove. Flat Earth has no proof of anything.
Can I say that globe has no visual proof whatsoever? You have none.
Who? You said who
none.
don't got no visual?
You have no visual daily proof of the globe. None.
All right, no problem. I can go on the app right now. I can pull up the solar system app, and I can determine what time I'm going to see the sun. And it's going to be accurate every time, every day.
Who creates that app? Who creates that app?
Yeah. The scientists.
Can you go outside or go somewhere and prove yourself, by yourself, without a use of an app or something like that the Earth is a spinning ball or a globe? Can you?
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
Yourself,
Yeah. You guys, you can.
I have a question. My grandfather, who is such a great agriculturalist / farmer, like he believed in the Farmer's Almanac, and also he used his own, I guess, God-given talent, and he could know when there's rain is coming. He definitely knew like the soil content of like, you know, his land and whether or not what type of fertilizers to use. How do you guys feel about the Farmer's Almanac? Is that truth or is that like a lie?
It makes somebody money.
So you know who wrote the first Farmer's Almanac ever?
What? Who?
He was a freed slave. His name was Benjamin Banneker.
Oh yeah.
Because my husband's family farms, I do believe the Farmer's Almanac, and it comes up to be true, and that's what farmers have used for hundreds of years.
Thank you, Red Pill. That's why I love you.
To dictate their planting and harvest seasons.
Thank you.
It's accurate every time, and this is what I'm saying. You don't have to believe in anything. You don't have to believe the flat Earth, though. You know what I'm saying? But the question is can you provide us with any model that can debunk the model that we have for the Earth being a globe? Because everything that we can determine, the almanac to the apps to even you can go on the forecast and say when it's going to rain. The satellites is based on coordinates on the globe Earth to find out when it's going to rain, when the sun is going to come out, when the tornado is going to happen, when a hurricane is coming. All these coordinates are based on the globe Earth. Do you have anything that can show different? If you can, you have a case.
If you have science that is created to deny God, gravity is the perfect example of something that was created to deny God, because gravity.
You don't need gravity.
Because gravity explains why something doesn't fall off the side or the bottom of a spinning globe. But density and buoyancy explains everything. My friend, you cannot go anywhere on this planet, plane, whatever you want to call it, yourself, and prove a spinning ball. You cannot.
Yeah, that's heresy.
That's heresy, though. 10 places and prove a flat Earth. I did one time, but I didn't realize it was flat Earth because I was.
Yeah, I bet you did in 23 months. I would have did the same thing. In 23 months, 3 months, I could prove it. Go outside, look on the ground. Oh, this motherfucker flat. I can do that too. No, but it's not that easy though. It ain't that easy though. It ain't that easy though. It takes years, homie.
If you have the money and time to do it, if you have the money and time to do it,
you
can prove flat Earth, but you cannot prove globe.
Not true.
Not true.
Go ahead.
I have a question for flat Earth. If the Earth is flat, why, when I go out on the ocean, is there a concave shape in the horizon?
You think there's a concave shape in the horizon because you were indoctrinated from 5 years old to believe.
But she sees it though.
She sees it though.
It is vanishing point and law of perspective. If that boat goes away You put a telescope on it, it will come back into full view until the telescope can no longer see it. It is law of perspective and vanishing point. Now, let me make one last point. I know I'm outgunned 3-1 here. That's just fine. But
No,
I'm
it's not about
going to
being
tell you this.
outgunned. I just want you to substantiate whatever you're
It's
saying,
law.
because it's like I'm open.
It's law of perspective and vanishing point. I will be happy to send it to you. Like I've already sent something to a young lady already. It's law of perspective and vanishing point. That's all it is. It's nothing else. And that explains everything. That's why it explains you can see a lighthouse from 40 miles away and see it all if you put a telescope or a binocular on it when it should be totally away from view. At 40 miles, it should be 800 feet curved. If the lighthouse is 200 feet tall, you shouldn't see anything. You can see the whole thing, and that is the same thing with laser measurements. Everything. Now, I'll say this: I totally respect people that believe we live on a spinning ball and globe. I was there June, July of 2021. I totally understand. I will never change anybody's mind in an hour who's been indoctrinated their entire life.
Indoctrinated with models, right? This is what I want to say to y'all, man. Y'all want to debunk this shit. Don't ask him no questions about no sea, no ocean, no none of that, because that's a bad argument, because he can go deep into that flat earth rabbit hole and say shit like that when it's wrong. We cannot. There's actually footage of people watching a boat disappear in the distance.
That's law of perspective.
Law of perspective, right. Now, see, law of perspective means it gets further away from you. We all know goddamn and well that any object that goes straight across like that, you can see that motherfucker as long as you got something that you can see that motherfucker with. We all know this. We can prove that. We can prove that. Now, here's the best argument for flat Earth. This is the best fucking argument for flat Earth. If you want to debate against flat Earth, the best thing to do is ask them to present a model that I can determine when the sun is going to show up in my perspective. They don't have that on the flat Earth model. They don't have that.
They absolutely do.
No, they don't. Okay, show me one.
I will
show me one right now.
I will send you something.
Okay,
I can't show it to you right now. I've already sent something to my friend. When we got off here, I've already sent something to her. I'll send something to her again. I'll send you something.
Is it the watch? Is it like the flat watch looking thing, like the one that looked like Lunette and Molly clock? You know what I'm saying? The joint with the sun and the moon next to each other. Yeah, I seen it before. I know that. I know that. I don't even want to talk about it. You ain't even got to send it to me. Go ahead.
I'm not here to like change the subject, but since we got like red pill mixed chick, my girl. Hey, I love you. I know.
Oh, I love you too.
ECT Vision. I know that you had concerns about the trucking. This woman here is so freaking brilliant. A nurse, a freaking like entrepreneur, everything. I love you right now. She will give you her perspective of the whole like trucking situation, because she is an entrepreneur. She owns her own rigs, everything in terms of like what's going on with the truckers and how it would affect us. So she's like great. She's like great, like intel, great data. I love you, Red Pill.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have huge problems with the trucking convoy, and everybody wants to do what's going on in Canada, not understanding that everything that is happening in Canada has already happened in America. There's nothing different. You see, they're locking up the truckers and not giving them bail, just like they did the January 6th protesters. Exactly the same. Bank accounts have already been seized in America for having a different point of view. Myself, for my husband and I, our trucking company, we're not participating in the convoy because, you know, a lot of people are supporting the Canadian thing that's going on, but we have people, American citizens in prison who cannot get the funds to get a good attorney. But 50% of the funds to Canada is supporting their truckers. But we have these people from January 6th still in prison and nobody can get them a good attorney. So my husband and my son, who are both truck drivers, are not going to be participating. Our trucks are not going to get confiscated.
Yeah, that makes sense. I really I didn't really know what was going on as far as, you know, the seas of banks and stuff. I learned that like a little bit later on. My biggest concern was I was more concerned with conservative talking heads putting out information about the police officers being wrong. And the reason why I was kind of confused about that was because a lot of the videos that was coming out didn't have any context behind it. I'm like, how are you talking about what the hell is going on in Canada based off a 15-second clip? But when we did that, when they were saying that the police officers were racist for, you know, the shootings that had happened, and then when you dig into it, you find out, oh, they was on some bullshit. We had a problem with them folks doing that. So now we got people that's conservatives fighting for something that we might believe in. We think it's okay for them to go down there and give the rest of society trouble based on some shit that they want to do, because you want to honk in the middle of the fucking night where everybody sleep. You want to disrupt everybody's business, and you got the police called on you. And it's not everybody, of course, but you can't expect people to just lay down and think that shit is cool. Nah, you're gonna have to meet some type of resistance for doing shit like that, because now you ain't doing things the right way. So yeah, that's right. That was my whole problem with that.
So I think we have to keep the same energy, right? So when we had the BLM protest in Sacramento and they shut down the freeways.
Yeah.
So that pissed me off because I'm a nurse and we have coworkers that had to travel that freeway that couldn't get to work. So we had to work longer shifts because there was no one there to take care of the patients. So if we're going to say it's not okay to shut down the freeways for their movement, which they have the right to peacefully protest, we can't do the same thing, because then that's the definition of hypocrisy.
Facts.
Isn't she like wonderful? I love Red Pill.
Yeah. And I lost a lot of followers behind them comments too. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't care, but I'm just saying though, I'm like, it just made me really think about, like, damn, like these, I was right. I was seeing what I was seeing. They got these talking points. They're getting people riled up, getting them in their emotions, using the same tactics that the left use on progressives. It's the same shit. So yeah, I wasn't gonna stand for that because I saw that BS from a mile away.
So I mean, like, to piggyback off of like Red Pill, it's like this. We have to look at in terms of optics. And it's like, I think that in actuality, a lot of conservatives are not looking at what's going on here. There's a lot of January 6 people who have not been given due process. If you cannot get due process, you are totally like fucked. Okay? And that goes against our Constitution. We are supposed to receive due process. So in essence, I think that what's going on in Canada, I wish them well. I believe in sovereignty, as I said before, ECT. But my thing is that we need to be focusing on what's going on here. You've brought to my attention about a 10-year-old girl that was like raped by a man that's now getting a sex change and is now going into the women's prison instead of, like, you know, taking his comeuppance in a male's prison. Okay, these are the things that need to.
Yep. All right, your thing cut off.
You know,
but
we have so many people in jail right now. We're not living under the Constitution.
Exactly.
We're not living under the Constitution. So thinking that our First Amendment has failed, so the only thing next is to uphold the Second. That's
Yeah. Oh, for real. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I think the biggest thing I can say about the convoy in Canada is you got 85% of Canadians have been double jabbed. So that's, in the United States, we have about 71% of eligible people double jabbed. In Canada, they have 85. Canada's a lost cause. The convoy is controlled opposition. It's just to make people feel good. It's a feel good thing. And there's just not a whole lot. Canada's gone. Australia's gone. New Zealand's gone. Italy's gone. Australia's gone. France is gone. The United States is going to hang on because we have 400 million guns, and the people that supposedly rule over us know that. So it's just one of those things. I'm going to head off here real quick, but I have Red Pill here, and I just want to ask her take on one thing from a conversation about, she may not remember it, from 2 or 3 weeks ago. What was the point you were wanting to make about Sally Hemings and Jefferson? Do you remember that? You may not. I'm putting you on the spot, and I apologize.
No, you're fine. I have a really good memory.
Okay.
Thomas Jefferson was in love with Sally Hemings.
Yeah, he believes differently. He believes that it was like totally like, 14-year-old, 40-year-old man.
See, but you can actually, I'm all about fact checking and research. So you can research and look at the love letters that he left for her. The fact that he left his land to her and to their children shows his love for her.
The thing that I found fascinating about Jefferson, and I think I may not voice. I think I voiced this before you got on. The fun thing I found about Jefferson from 1772 to 1782, 10 years he was married to his wife, his one and only wife, and they had 6 children in 10 years or 120 months. So she was almost pregnant for half the time that they were married. And even today, that might even kill a woman. And back then, when the medical thing wasn't very good at all, so you can actually say that Jefferson kind of killed his wife through having kids. And then 5 years later, when he was over in France, he summoned Sally Hemings, who was 14 and he was 44. The power dynamic behind that is just unbelievable. Can you imagine? 44 and 14, the power dynamic. I think he was he was ambassador to France, and she was a 14-year-old slave, and supposedly, now some people will say they had up to 6 kids. Maybe they didn't. That's just what they write, and I don't necessarily believe that. But it's just interesting. And she died a slave in 1835. He never freed her. He never did anything like that. And he supposedly had 6 kids. And so Jefferson, as somebody who we have a memorial to on the $2 bill, we the people, couldn't keep it in his pants. That's my only point.
Well, it's like I have to interject.
Go ahead.
Red Pill, my girl. Aren't you a descendant of Washington?
I am.
Okay. Take the floor, my girl. Take the floor, my girl.
So this is the thing. You have to understand, back in those days, he couldn't have married her. But also back in those days, if you check the census, majority of the wives of men were really young. So on my mother's side, my great grandmother was 13 and married a 39-year-old man. That's how it was back in those days. Not saying that it's right, but that's how
exactly.
It was. And the fact that, listen, he couldn't have married Sally Hemings. Could he have freed her? What would she have done if she would have been free? But there are letters, there are actual notes that you can read that he loved that woman, and he left the land to those children, his children.